On behalf of ISJS, I welcome all of you to this 17th monthly lecture series, online lecture series on Jainism. Today, we have a very renowned speaker with us. Her name is Sharmila Jain Oswal. She is here. Welcome, Sharmila ji. And we also have our chairperson today, our own president, Dr. Shugan Chand Jain. Welcome, Shugan ji. Welcome to this platform. Um, I also just want to tell you that we have all our mentors here. I can see them. I just want to bow my hands, join my hands and bow my heads. For Manglacharan, I would invite our research associate, Harshit Kumar Mishra, to chant Ramukar Mantra. Harshit.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Please, everyone, join your hand. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayriyanam, Namo Uvajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam. एसो पंचनमो यारो सब पावपणासनो मंगलाणं च सवेसिं पढ़मं होय मंगलम पढ़मं होय मंगलम. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this beautiful recitation, Harshit ji. Now it's time for us to begin the formal welcome of all of you. For that, I will request our director, Dr. Srinetha Pandey, to come ahead and welcome all of you formally.
Namaskar, Jai Jinendra. I welcome you all to the 17th online lecture by International School for Jain Studies. The topic of today's talk is very interesting. You all are aware about the topic, the status of women, socio-economic status of women in Jainism. And today, our speaker, Dr. Sharmila Oswal ji, is going to cover the status of women starting from Rishabdev till date. So we will get a flavor of current scenario of Jain women in current scenario. So I will not take much time to introduce our speaker. We have already circulated a brief note about the speaker and the after it, but few important things about the speaker and our chair I would like to let you know. The first thing, why we have chosen this particular speaker for this topic. So if you uh, have a look at the profile of Mrs. Sharmila Jain Swalji, you will also be sure that we have chosen a right person for this particular topic. Mrs. Sharmila Jain Oswal, as a social activist, she is nurturing, mentoring, and empowering people, particularly women of tribal community and farmers, thereby creating sustainable livelihoods. She is associated with various government and non-government institutions and committees as director, advisor, founder, and mentor. For her dedication to the agrotech innovations, our Indian Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, applauded Mrs. Oswal. Oswal's millet story in his very famous Man Ki Baat. And for this reason, she is known as Millet Woman of India, Millet Evangelist, and sometimes you will see that people call her Millet Mom, etc. She has been consulted and honored by various prime ministers like Prime Minister of Ireland, Canada, Singapore, Georgia, etc. for agricultural, water, and food security issue. So, Mrs. Oswal is also associated with various Jain institutions and organizations like GTO, and of course, she is associated with us for a long time. So, we are very fortunate to have such a dynamic, creative personality with us as a speaker for this particular session. On behalf of myself and behalf of International School for Jain Studies, I welcome you to this virtual platform of ISGS. I welcome our today's session chair, Dr. Suganchan Jain. You all are well familiar with Dr. Jain. He is founder and president of ISJS. Dr. Jain uh, is Dr. Jain has worked as an information technology professional for about 40 years in the Netherlands, USA, and India. And after that, he left the profession and dedicated himself for Jain studies, founded ISJS with the Dr. Sulekh Jain, and delivered a number of lectures in the university and institutions, not only in India but all over the world. He has also been involved in rehabilitating many Jain educational institutions in India, uh, Parshanath Vidyapit Varanasi, the well-known institution for Jainology, and in Delhi there are many schools. So Dr. Jain has dedicated himself to promote the Jain values through his lectures and through his dedication in the schools also. Sir, I welcome you to this virtual platform of ISJS. We have our advisors, our co-founder, Dr. Sulekh ji, uh, Dr. Narendra Parsan ji from Pune, Professor Prakash Badjatya ji. I can see here Professor Kantilar Mardia ji, Meena Chokshi ji, Dr. Srikant Gadvir, coordinator of Bhagwan Sitalnath Chair, Deccan College, Dr. Miravi Jain, Palak Jain, and all other scholars and students who are joining this program from the various part of the globe. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Srinetha Pandey, our own director. I request all of you to please keep your mics muted so that we can have an uninterrupted lecture. And before doing any further ado, I would request Mrs. Sharmila Oswal to begin her lecture on socio-economic status of women in India. Sharmila ji.
Just give me a minute. Huh? Just,
Sure.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Am I audible, right? Yeah, okay. So, okay. Just a second. 1 second, I'll just...
Sharmila ji, you are muted.
Yes. Okay. So it's indeed pleasure and privilege. Thank you so much, Shugan Uncle and Pandeji and ISJS team to invite me and to give me this opportunity to share the experiences, what I have actually on the ground. And as I'm working with the all women across country, and I myself was always curious to know that what is the status of women, because today's contemporary times and the earlier times, I mean, right from the Rishabh Bhagwan, his daughters, Brahmi and Sundri, and then Bhagwan Mavira, Chandanbala. We have, I mean, all the history in the past, and our Jina Matas, Tirthankara's mothers, and today's contemporary times. So the status of women refers to her position in the network of social role structures, privileges, rights, and duties. So it refers to her rights and duties. And if you will see that International Women's Year is being celebrated, so United Nations also has accepted that particular day, that is 8th March, to be celebrated as the International Women's Day. So India is a cradle for many religions, and they have their own principles, philosophies, and ideals in general. So with that, the status of women also differs from religion to religion. So if you'll compare with the Hindu religion, Buddhism, or Christian, or Muslims, or Jain, so it does differs. Socio-economic status, like particularly with reference to, let's go back to early Vedic period. Pandey ji, आप slides थोड़े ऊपर कर सकते हैं, because I will keep my flow. So it will go with the flow, and audience can read the slides also. So early Vedic period was the period of highest stage of civilization. This age has excelled in every occupation. If you will see this slide here, I have given the glimpse that how Jainism, I mean, historically, the importance of the women's rights and privileges, and from Bhagwan Rishabh to till today's period. So this is a gist I have put up in this slide. So this age, particularly early Vedic, now I'm referring to a Rig Veda period. So all the valuable things in man's life, like philosophy, religion, science, code of conduct, equal status, were all developed in the early Vedic period. So scholars believe that in ancient India, the woman enjoyed equal status with men in all fields of life, and greatness of India's ancient culture lies in the honorable place granted to the women. So literary works of eminent Indian scholars do suggest that women were educated in early Vedic period. In fact, if you will see, I would like to give some of the reference. It is, I mean, Karnataka has published a lot of good scholars like Dr. M. Chidambara Murthy. So 1979, he did mention about the early Rig Veda period, where how the women evolved. Then particularly even the spiritual ceremonies, religious ceremonies, it was also the belief was there that along with the men, women has to be there, sitting in the right or sitting in the left. Hello? Is it okay? Hello? Am I audible, Pandeji?
Yes, yes. Please, you all are requested to please mute
I
your
think,
audio.
yeah, somebody is whispering.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then this is like early Veda period. And then let's say the socio-economic status, how it evolved according to the Hindu texts and traditions until about 500 BC. Women in India enjoyed considerable freedom. I mean, the very phenomenal kind of freedom. But after next 1,000 years, women's position gradually started deteriorating, because it started declining with the introduction of Manusmriti. As you all are aware of Manusmriti, Manu deprives the social and economic rights of women, and he says that, like, wife, or I mean, it was in those times that wife do not have the rights to property, or even the second class citizen. So this particularly, the declining of the state has happened in the Manusmriti, but here the magic happens. Tada, the reformative Lord Mahavira, Bhagwan Mahavir, who has introduced greater reformative theories, philosophies. If you will see right from Chandan Bala to the all more than, I think, 3 million nuns were been given the training and the all this empowerment from Bhagwan Mahavir himself, and who allowed women particularly to follow the religious order. So this is like Rig Veda, and then the like later Vedic period. And then what happened is a medieval India. I mean, if you will see the evolving status of women. So medieval India was not women's age, and it is supposed to be, unfortunately, a dark age for them. So medieval India saw many foreign conquests, many foreign invasions, which resulted in the decline in the women's status. And the Indian woman started, I mean, even I belong to Rajasthan. So even I know, I have seen my mother or my family members, my bhabis or sister-in-laws, everybody covering our faces. So that is the system called parda. Parda is veiling our faces. So this particularly, it started in the medieval period. So in Rajasthan, I always had this curiosity, Haryana, Rajasthan, particularly these provinces where women has to cover their faces, because the stories are, so when I used to ask my grandmother that why we have to cover, okay, I also have done this till 12 years of my marriage. So abhi main jo dikh rahi hu, wo abhi nahi, that is not my original version. So my original version, even after marriage, like 12 years, I did covered my face or had a palla on the head. So that is a medieval India, right? So the Indian women started, I mean, the parda system or covering the face or not coming out of the house, or we call it as chaukhut. चौखट के बाहर नहीं आना है, जैसे किचन में है तो वो
से जंप करके कहाँ कहाँ पहुंच रहे हैं सुनते रहेंगे.
हेलो. सो आई मीन प्लीज आप थोड़ा सा अपना ये बंद करेंगे, आई मीन आई थिंक म्यूट कर दीजिए प्लीज. So the medieval India has witnessed a lot of polygamy, and polygamy, what happened, these foreign invasions, they declined the status of women, because the moment polygamy came, definitely the status is changed. Then what happened when the modern India comes? So after medieval India, modern India comes, where British rule came, then the post-independence era, 1947, India is based on the British Constitution. So if you will see again, the developments or the status of socio-political, I mean, women gradually started, I mean, if you will see the education or the reforms, whatever happened in modern India. But at the same time, Hindu culture, Hindu religion, to born as a girl child was also started considering as a misery or a burden, and needs extra care. I mean, it never prevailed over the pre-Vedic era, or even the when the Bhagwan Mahavir's time, or the later stage of the Rig Veda. But this particularly modern India or post-independence, I mean, you will see the stories, a lot of story, Roop Kuwar or Rajasthan or Haryana especially, had a lot of, I mean, cases where girl child was not been like given that kind of, encouragement. So the condition is extremely different in Jainism. Jainism and its organizational system provided avenues of religious, cultural, and social services. The women in Jaina community got ample of opportunities in public life. So, however, their social and economic status remained unchanged in the time immemorial. Based on analytical study of literary and epigraphic sources here, attempts are made to explain the socio-economic status of particularly with respect to Jainism. Now, Jainism is one of the oldest religions, as you all have studied, you all are scholars here, you all are my seniors here. So Jainism has contributed some original ideologies to the world. So the most significant aspect in the Jainism has always respected the smallest of the insects among the living organisms. This attitude extends even to the world to even a blade of grass also. So thus it is natural for such a religion to cultivate an attitude of respect towards women. So this approach, particularly of Jainism towards women, is based on the concept of equality of souls of all living beings. Hence, in this context, Jainism recognizes women have equal rights with men and provides dharmic protection for the same. So, from the inception of Jainism, the followers are divided into, we call it as a Chaturvida Sangh. So, we have Muni, that is monks, then Arika, nuns, then Shravak, that is laymen, and Shravikas, that is laywomen. So, the first two groups of ascetic renounce their households, and next two are those householders. Such four these orders of Jain Sangha existing even till today. Since women are accepted in the monastic order, the women enjoyed an honored place in Jainism. I repeat that, an honored place, because that is what is I want to enhance here. Jainism has a gender inclusiveness, and that is what is, I think, I'm extremely proud to share that Jainism had that very higher respect for women. So that honored place was given from the period of Lord Adinatha, that is from our first Tirthankara. Then how women has a religious participation in Jainism. Women has a unique position as Tirthankara's Mata. We call them a Jina Mata. So a woman who gave birth to the Tirthankaras, a Jain deity. So the Jain scriptures and history is full of names of Jain women who have done a lot more for the well-being of the society and the religion in particular. So scholars do mention that in ancient times, particularly with reference to, I'll quote here, Karnataka. So Jain women were very actively participated in religious activities. So we have a lot of stories, and now even government of India has published the postal stamp also, like Rani Abaka, for example, or Channa Bhairavi Devi, and we have a lot of such women. So I will come to those case studies also. So in the beginning, it is mentioned that except Rig Veda, in the later Vedic period, women were regarded as inferior to men. Women were debarred from all the religious practices and practically no place in religious place of the Vedic society. The same situation was also existed in the Tirthankara Mahavira's period, but Lord Mahavira opposed all such evil practices, and he did not make any such differences between male and female in observance of religious vows, including reading of sacred books, practice of vows, and all are admitted to the fourfold, that is, I just mentioned, Chaturvid Sangh, without any gender discriminations. The fact of Jaina text itself shows that there were about 14,000 sadhus, 36,000 sadhvis, and 1 lakh Shravakas and 3 lakh sadhvis, shows female practitioners, and they were more. I mean, if you'll see the ratio with the Shravak and Shravikas, so Shravika's ratios were more. And these many females were from the royal families, royal kingdoms, and they used to take Diksha. So some of the names I will refer definitely here, like Brahmi, Sundri, Aryakarni, Pushpakala, Chandanbala, Salsa, Revti. They were the heads of the Jaina, particularly nuns under the Arhat, like Rishabha, Arishtanemi, Parshva, Mahavira, respectively. Just now I mentioned the name about even Chandanbala. So the nunnery what Chandanbala was running that at Champa. Now this particular organization Chandanbala was running, there were 36,000 Arikas. So that is what we call as Shravikas. And hence, during ancient India, along with the monasteries, the nunneries were established, which were headed by nuns. These nunneries serve as places of relief and shelter to many distressed ones in the high rank of life. So it is recorded that widow princes of local royal households sought shelter. I mean, there are many stories that they took the shelters at the Shravasti. In ancient period of Jaina nunneries were existed in Champa, Mithila, Rajgriha, Shravasti, Bharavi, that is at Dwarka, then Kuru kingdom, that is Devendra Chandra. So these are all the names I'm quoting. Among all the Jain nuns, we do have a history, and there is a nun called Yakini. Mahata. She was the greatest intellectual, and she had openly challenged a Brahmin Pandit. His name was Haribhadra Suri, who got defeated by her and who became her disciple. Now imagine, this is a kind, and this has been referred in Dr. A.R. Nagaraj, 1987. So that references I have taken from that. The Jain nuns were also associated with the internal administration of Jaina church and Kanti, which indicates a special class of nuns with higher position in the monastic organization. So the inscription, let's go, as you all have heard of Shravan Belgola, which refers to the nun like Rajamati, Ganti, Gunamati, Yave, Prabhavati. So they were the all nuns of highest position. Jain women in education. So if you will see, particularly this is a very important aspect if we consider a Jain women and with reference to the socio-economic status. Along with religious participation, women were also able to get equal opportunity in other social spheres like education and literature. In many Jain scripts, it is mentioned that Rishabh Bhagwan, our first Tirthankar Adinath Bhagwan, imparted 64 disciplines, that is Kala, to the Brahmi and Sundri, his two daughters. The fact is that Rishabh Bhagwan imparted knowledge of language and alphabets to one of his daughter, Brahmi, and fine arts to his another daughter, Sundri. Thus, the famous Brahmi Lipi named after her. In this context, Jaina art schools, monasteries were established to provide education to both male and female without any gender discrimination. The art schools were continued to be public schools and a university for the greater part of India. In history, Jain nuns have been known for their education, intellect, profundity, and sacrificial qualities. So let's go back, like where I mentioned about Brahmi and Sundri, where Rishabh Bhagwan gave this 64 Kala. The Jain nuns also taught male disciples depicts gender equality. All the above facts does shows that the women enjoyed and encouraged in getting education in Jain community. Particularly with reference to Jain women, not only, when I mention about Brahmi or Sundri, who received 64 courses of education, which was widely available pre-Rig Veda period as well. 64 courses of education, including Vedas, Vedangas, Agamas, from art of vernacular schools. But also they have received the secular education, which is so phenomenal. The evidence of Katha Kosha mentioned the Devadanti, a daughter of King Brahmartha and Queen Pushpadanti, because learner of all these subjects were from the art school. So as a result of this high type education received by Jain women, some of them were also entered into the teaching profession and also got employment in the royal households. Some remained to spread Jaina gospel. So it is recorded in Jaina tradition that the name Jayanti, daughter of King of Kaushambi, remained unmarried, who received higher education and became none under Lord Mahavira, Bhagwan Mahavir Swami. So all those times when we consider, I mentioned about Rani Abaka, the Ulal province. So women were not only into the education, or women were not only into the art or literature or philosophy, but they were warriors and administrators. The equal status of women in society and their education in Jainism made them to withstand in the society as the brave warriors and administrators of their provinces from the ancient period till the medieval period. So to take the example, Mrigavati, again King of Kaushambi, she was wife of King of Kaushambi, took the charge of administration after King of Kaushambi's death. Then like Rani Abaka, who fought with Portuguese. Then there are many stories, even Channa Bhair Devi, who also fought. So these were all the warriors and administrators. Even in the military, they were known as the best strategists, particularly with reference to South India. The status of Jain women was varied. In earlier times, they were the pioneers in the development of even if you will see the Kannada language, Tamil language. I am from Pune, so I have come across many such scriptures and many such books and authors where seeing that evolving, how Jain women has contributed to developing the local languages. Here also in Maharashtra, we have Sangli and Kolhapur and these provinces where Marathi literature also is mentioning so much about Jainism in Marathi, or like Prakrit and Pali, it's very much there. But at the same time, the local languages of Kannada, Tamil, so South India and Maharashtra also does have a lot of Jain, Jain religion evolved in a local way. So here people speak Marathi. Many times Northern India Jain community would not know that, the surname is Patil or the surname is, let's say, Shinde, and they will, they would not think also that this community is Jain, because they are so much into the local Maharashtrian or local Kannada or local Tamil. So the two brave women names who were, particularly Rani Abaka, were associated, and with the political warrior. They were very able administrators, and they had a greater faith in Jainism. Chenna Bhairavi Devi of Geruscope and Abaka of Ulal were popularly known as queens of paper. Channa Bhaira Devi built Chaturmukha Basadi, that is again a temple at Gerusappe, and Rani Abaka, she also built a lot of temples, particularly on those in particularly those regions. So we have such a powerful women who are strategists, who are rulers, who are who run the kingdoms, and they had the fine arts, they were the trustees, they were the poetess, they were the philanthropists, they built the tanks, they trained the princes to become the ideal rulers. So the royal women administrators, villages, towns, divisions, provinces, able administrator, and during all particularly this period of times where the Jain women were quite, I think, very highly honored, very highly empowered. Then reference to particularly, if I many queens, as I mentioned about this queen's name, there were also Ganga and Rashtrakuta dynasties were rulers and efficiently ruled. Now I am referring this again by this the authors, that these all queens and the warriors and the administrators, they, compared to North India, there were many such examples and case studies from the South India. Then these women particularly, not they were only in the political regime or the social or economical, but they were also contributing to the art, architecture, and literature. So many queens or many such Ranis, you will find that they have sacrificed their life for the construction of Jinalayas. There are many names like Changla Devi. She was Jain. She constructed a temple, but there were many invasions where our Jain women were not protected, or like Rani Abaka, she fought till last moment, but for, whatever, the reasons, there were her own husband betrayed her. So there were many such stories that our Jain women were stood very strong, and they fought for the nation, they fought for the community, they fought for the country, and they were all having a great faith in Jainism. So social economic status, if we say pre-Rigveda to Rigveda, then the medieval period, then the modern times, post-independent, if you will see the status, it kept changing. It kept changing. And if you'll see the literacy rate, if you'll compare in India, particularly with respect to Hindu, you will see this is something, a very surprising figures I'm going to share, that Hindu literacy rate is 53% women, particularly. Muslims, 50%, Christians, 76%, Buddhists, 61%, and Jains, believe me, 90%, 90.6. And this is done in, this is done 2017. So now imagine we are in 2024. So this particularly literacy rate, Jain women, 90%, we are above all. So this shows that how in present era, social and economic status of women has been growing, and it has become a progressive. So in present era, various women personalities are involved in social services, and you will find now today's time, like I particularly run organization called in Jain International Trade Organization, we have called Jain International Women Organization, where we have all Jain women of India. So they are here adopting the villages, then Vayavach, that is doing seva to the all Mara Sahibs, Guru Bhagwans, spiritual work, religious work, then educating all those who are not, I mean, those who are unprivileged children. There are many social work which are being taken under the banner of the Jain women, and Jain women are doing a very great philanthropical work through this kind of organization. So if you will see the comparison during the Rishabh Bhagwan's time, or Adinath Bhagwan's time, Mahavir Bhagwan's time, women's status was extremely honored. In fact, there are debates that women gets liberalized, or women get salvation, women gets moksha, women has to get rebirth, and then she attains moksha. So it's again anekantvad. But I am again a progressive woman who truly believe that doing the right karmas, and we as a privileged Jain women, we always feel that we have got this, all this education, or the sanskars from our parents, or our dharma, or our community, and which we are cultivating through the generation, and continuing these legacies forward. So, in nutshell, concluding that the status, socio-economic status, Jain women were always privileged. So if you will compare with the other religions, because other religions have lot of many times lot of restrictions, that they cannot touch a particular god, or they cannot enter the temple, or they cannot do certain pujas, or they cannot certain read the spirit, I mean religious books. But on the contrary, Jainism has given extremely, I mean, the greater freedom right from the first Tirthankara till today. So the Jain women has kept evolving, and you will be surprised to know that even in the business, I mean, I referred about the warriors, or administration, or the military, but again in the business, women are doing excellent. Even in the world now, women are growing in their business, or in their multiple skills, active participation, learning, imparting training, and the hand holding to the weaker sections of the community. So truly, Jain women are getting progressed right from the status of Rig Veda till today. There is a huge, phenomenal development. And I'm very honored to share these experiences, as I'm very happy that you would all definitely will read these stories, and you must read the stories of these all queens of especially Karnataka, South India, Tamil Nadu, or even Rajasthan, where these queens fought for the communities, fought for their kingdoms, and how they were so good in their military strategies, fighting with the Portuguese, fighting with the British, or even with the local governance policies. They were the greatest administrators, poets, and the ones who built the Jinalayas also. So concluding my session here, socioeconomic status of women is been extremely progressive and privileged one. Thank you, and Jai Jinendra.
Thank you so much, Sharmila ji. Thank you for this talk. I think you have taken us through the whole timeline. You have told us about how it was earlier and how it is today. I think it was really interesting. Thank you so much. Do we have any comments or questions? We can take them right
There's
now.
a chat box. There is a question by Professor Maruti Nandan Tiwari ji.
All right.
एक
Oh,
second,
yeah,
muted.
Tiwari sir, thank you so much for the question. The question I will just read. It's my curiosity is why women were denied the natural right of moksha in Jainism. However, in Shvetamba tradition, only one female, Malliswami or Nath, was listed as Tirthankara, and that too at subsequent period.
So
Um,
this is a answer. Probably Shugan uncle will help me in this, but I will give my narration. That as you all know that we have the sects Shvetambara and Digambara. And I mean, particularly with respect to Digambara, that women do not attain moksha, but Shvetambara disagrees on that. But particularly with my opinion, as you can say, I'm the most liberal woman. So I feel that if you know, I mean, because I mean, I witnessing the Tirthankar Adinath Bhagwan's liberal, you know, attitude towards his two daughters, Brahmi and Sunri, or Bhagwan Mahavira towards Chandan Bala and all satis, or till today's time, I definitely feel that you know, women do have right, I mean, a natural right of moksha. So that is my perspective. और अभी के टाइम में वैसे मोक्षा पॉसिबल नहीं है वाया महाविद्य क्षेत्र और जो भी हमारा पाथवे है. But I think Shugan uncle can put, because I think he would be able to give the right answer on this particular question.
Thank you.
all right. I think we have one more question or thing here.
Yes, Dr. Narendra
Narendra
Parsons.
ji.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr. Narendra ji is saying, you mentioned briefly women in business. What type could they have been involved in ancient and then medieval times?
See, I mean, ancient times, as you all know, like तब तो टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं थे. देन दोज टाइम्स वर सो डिफिकल्ट कि कुछ भी नहीं था. सो हम लोग इतने पिकल से पापड़ से लेके हर चीज जो खाते हैं, इवन उस टाइम बार्टर सिस्टम चलता था, एज यू ऑल नो. आपने जैसे ऋषभ भगवान के इसमें भी असी मसी ऋषि कृषि, तो जैसे कृषि से रिलेटेड भी उस वक्त जैसे अनाज का होता था, तो बहुत सारी महिलाएं आपको दिखेंगी कि एंशियंट टाइम्स में घर में बैठ के ऐसे बहुत सारे उस टाइम पे ट्रेड्स, अगर आप हम्पी विजयवाड़ा साम्राज्य, वहां पे आपको
Sharmila
कई
ji,
सारे.
we have a few participants from overseas who can't
Oh,
understand.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know this. I'm so sorry. So, Vijayawada Kingdom and Hampi, and if you will visit those places, there are many stories on women, Jain women, how they were excellent traders, you know. So, there are stories that how Champa Nagri had the women traders, and now even the names. I mean, if you'll go to Vietnam, I mean, it has been said that the earlier name was Champa Nagri, and the traders came from Vietnam to here. So there are many Jain women actually who were known as popular traders those times.
Sharmila ji, Manish ji wants to know that were Jain women involved in Johar also? Like what
Uh,
happened in Chittorgarh and Gwalior, we all know.
Okay, so as you know, well, like those who are from Rajasthan, so as we all know that in Rajasthan, Johar's Padmavati and Chittorgarh's what happened. So basically, Rajasthani community. So when the community or when the women started knowing Jainism, then I mean, you know, being a part of community. So it's like for today, like example, we say local to vocal. So locally, Johar was a pratha, was a kind of I mean superstitious or whatever a tradition amongst the women. But Jain women, the way they are being evolved, then there was definitely a differentiation. For example, in India there is a Karwa Chauth. In India there are many festivals which women are following as a traditions, like even Roop Kaur Sati. So which was like, if you know Raja Ram Mohan Rai, India's reformist, who brought this law prohibiting the sati pratha. But at the same time, Rajasthan did had this very recently. Roop Kaur story is a recent story. So till now, just last month, the culprit got evicted just last month. So imagine all these years he was in jail, and that Roop Kaur Sati. So Manish, my answer to this was Johar was there definitely, but when women evolved when they started knowing about Jainism, definitely, I mean, today, if you'll ask Jain women, they don't follow Karwa Chauth, or they don't follow the local traditions here. But I mean, there are women who does follow, but there are women, when they understand Jainism as a religion, Jainism as a lifestyle, Jainism as a aparigraha, Jainism as a anekandvat, then definitely they don't follow superstitions.
Sharmila ji, thank you for this. We have a question which is slightly different from this, feministic view that you are having right now. Meena ji wants to ask, why is art shunned these days by Jains, although the trades were established in ancient times?
Yeah, that is what is the all dilemma now. Because see, when I mentioned the pre-Rig Veda, how we were like so liberal and women were highly privileged and art was extremely on a higher forms. And if you will see the deteriorating like modern times and the British time, and then now today, I mean, it's just kind of getting disappearing, which is very unfortunate. So there were like I mean, see, like for example, even these warriors or political administrators, I mean, along with art, a lot of things are getting, declining and getting, I mean, unfortunately, it is disappearing.
So do you really think that art is being shunned by Jains?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right. Do we have more questions or comments? So,
Simple comment.
yes.
What is the name? Somebody was asking about the
Professor.
art form, if is she done or she is still on the questions?
I'm here.
Pragya ji, please invite Sugan sir for his chairperson's remarks, so he will cover everything.
Yeah.
All
Let
right.
Sugan
I think
uncle cover everything now.
Yeah.
I think before
Very good.
that, Professor Kanti is trying to say something.
Yeah, I just want to add, I sent in text message, chat, one of the useful reference related to one of the question, Gender and Salvation by P.S. Jain, one of the classic in the area where he goes discuss, especially Tirthankar Malinath. She was a female to start with. So there is a substantial amount of understanding on this key question of gender and salvation. I think it's the Professor Jenny
Yeah.
wrote whole. So it is, it's a very
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a very nice book. All
Okay.
right. So thank you everyone for patiently listening to the lecture. I think we should move on to our president's remark, for the chairperson's remark, actually. So I will invite Dr. Shugan Chanji for his views.
Let me first thank Sharmila for giving that wide coverage of Jain women through ages. I go to the basic, why Jain women are different than in Hindu tradition, and it emanates from our philosophy of ahimsa. The basis of ahimsa is equality. So from the fundamental principle, equality is ingrained in us. So you will see male and female had always been treated equal. And our Tirthankara, especially Mahavir, he turned this equality, he demonstrated this equality in the social terms. We say slavery system was abolished by him through Chandanbala. Now here we see that inequality disappearing from the society. And after freeing her, what did he do? He encouraged her to study. He inducted her into the, as his son, and even promoted to the highest level of the head of the son. So this is what we do. And this is based on our principle of Samyak Darshan Gyan Charitrani Moksha Marga. Education, knowledge is very important. So Mahavir thought that giving education, imparting education is very important for women. And this is demonstrated by Chandan Bala. I go to a next step. Sati Pratha was always there in Indian Hindu traditions. But Jains... एक सेकंड आप बाद में बात करेंगे प्लीज नो प्लीज लेट मी स्पीक नाउ मुझे आता नहीं है हाँ हाँ हाँ
ठीक है, अब तो खत्म हो
आपको
गया।
प्रॉब्लम है तो आप कॉल कर दिया।
नहीं प्लीज just wait for your turn. Sure. So what he did when he formed a separate corps for women as sadhvis. So this problem of Johar and others disappeared. He said, why kill yourself? Why commit violence? You come into the fold. Spend your time educating and improving yourself, your life, this life and afterlife. So that was a way that by involving women, taking them away from the uh, path of immolation, he brought them in. And so it was again based on a principle of ahimsa. So these are the differences which evolved in Jain community from the principle of ahimsa, and women were treated equal as men. Now, as Sharmila said, we will come to that later. But if you see history, I will give you 2 or 3 examples. One is the famous Mana Sundari. There has been a movie made on her also, and you see how she became a savior of the whole family, not only of the family, of the kingdom. So women have been taking responsibility of equality and coming to terms to protect the family and this thing. So there are plenty of such examples. Giving role of leadership to the women, method of giving, the famous, Anuvrat story of how to select the leader, how to select the, kitchen and other things. I forget Revati, Anuvrat story is there. Then we come down. The basic difference of equality I analyze in one thing. Hindus say, Hindu women calls her husband Pati Dev. Okay. Jain women says Pati. Most of the Jain women will never say Pati Dev to their husband. Okay. And this brings equality. So, you were talking of Rajasthan. See, in Rajasthan, women were supposed to eat after the husband, serving the husband, and in his plate. A Jain woman will never do that. वो कहेगी मेरे को भूख लगे मैं पहले खा लूँ तुम्हारी सेवा करूंगी बट मैं ये नहीं ट्रेडिशन मानती सुपीरियरिटी की है नहीं okay so like this that equality is ingrained but this does not mean that Jain women did not perform their duties as a daughter, as a sister, as a wife or as a mother, because again this ahimsa, love, service, compassion is ingrained in them. They will do their best for those things, but never accept inferiority complex in them. And this concept of Pati Dev, that's why you were telling of Karwa Chauth. My mother never, celebrated Karwa Chauth. She said, why? I had enough in this life. I don't want to be the wife in 7 lives. Maybe moksha mein jana hai mere ko bhi. So like this, And so these things philosophically are built into this. Now, I will give you some more examples. Jain law. Champat Rai ji has written a good book on Jain law. And the Jain law gives so much protection to women as a widow, as a mother. It's amazing. स्त्री धन is the famous thing, जो डावरी उसको मिलती है अपनी या जो देते हैं, that is her husband or anybody has no right on that, and she has the right to dispose. So the community also provides protection to the woman, empowers her through this, so that she does not have to worry. I also give you another example of a project we did, Jains during partition. So we did a lot of interviews of Jains, what they did, and we had a seminar in Jamia also on this subject. So Jains said that they had an inclination that partition is inevitable. So sensing that, what they did in 45 and 46, they started sending their female folks to India with gold and other things. कि तुम जाओ वहाँ पे We will stay there, and then if things get worse, we will come back. Otherwise, we will call you if things. So they protected their women from the hardships of partition, sent them. Compared to this, Sikhs who did not do this, they would kill their female folks, Khalsa, so that they are not, defiled by the Muslims. And Hindus brought them simultaneously. So these are the things you see, how Jain women are respected, and equally they respect and contribute to the family. Now, Sharmila said, another thing about education. Most of the women, Jains are the highest women, 97, 96%, but they don't opt for service. They stay mostly home because they have the economic, let us say, protection from the family, and they use this knowledge and other things for community welfare, for imparting values and education to their children, householders. सास ससुर की सेवा करनी, ये करना, वो करना, धर्म की प्रभावना करनी, So these are the activities you will see. And so many now in our time, Shamila, you would say, we have kitty parties. And in kitty parties, of course, they have meetings, this thing, but they encourage women to show their skills.
Yeah.
Just making कुछ भी हो, so that they get empowered. They will take up social service. Eye camp लगाएंगे, health camp लगाएंगे, like this. They will set up societies so that the needies get the food or other things without knowing from where it is coming, so that they also maintain the dignity. So these are the type of constructive activities that the Jain women. So I feel there is a significant difference of a Jain woman from a Hindu woman. A Jain woman is highly educated, socially and religiously conscious, family oriented. Yes, now the economic pressures are growing. So you see a lot of women, Jain women, educated women, they are opting for knowledge-based, professions, education, medicine, research, IT, this type of business, so that they can use their knowledge, maintain their dignity, and make it. And some of them are excelling also, becoming managing directors, CEOs of different companies, Jain women, including our Sharmila ji, who has become the military women of India. So if we see, you will see thousands of Jain women, excelling in whatever they do. And so far, touch wood, there are very few cases of seeing them go astray. And this is the impact of Jainism, So Shamila, you have done a very good, exposure. I just wanted to give a little logic from where all these values are coming. And yes, Jain women are different. They are determined, this and this. Now, you passed on a question to me about gender salvation. These questions are coming now. Till 70 years, 50 years ago, even when I was in USA in the mid 60s, women there were crying for equality, having procession, burning their braziers and other things, that we are equal, because women were always considered weak, physically weak. And like Professor Mardia said about, P.S. Jainis thing, I also read that. So we can go on and on. I will not like to discuss, because as you said, the doors for moksha are closed right now for everybody. So let us not worry. Let us work on, so that when the doors open, we are there to enter the moksha. Whether it is women or men. Okay. Okay. So, thank you very much. Abha, you wanted to say something? Please go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you at that time. Abhaji? Go on.
Shuganji,
Sir,
you were
I
mentioning
think,
something about art. you were going to continue something about art. You forgot.
Art, yes, art. Jaina women were always there in the art. Now it depends on what type of art you talk of. But unfortunately, as Sharmila said, during medieval periods, when the foreign invaders came, the social pressures were that women were protected, kept behind the eyes of the rulers, because they always used to do hanky-panky things. So they were deprived of these things. From our experience, if we see, before independence, the Indian women who were in the art were mostly Muslims or from that community. But after that, now you see Asha Parekh is coming. The scene. If you say the movies, if you say in the art, recently we had a Nata from Calcutta doing a PhD on Anekant through art. So it depends on what type of art you are talking of. Now, because there are opportunities, society and families are providing those things, they are there. Sharmila talked a lot about Abaka. I did some research. Why did she come up? Because there the social system was that instead of men, it was a matriarchal society. Instead of the men, the women will inherit. So they encouraged women, and she became one of the boldest queens and resisted Portuguese from entering India. So it's a lot of times, the circumstances, the family and the society, they play a big role. So what I'm trying to answer your question is, earlier art forms were sort of banned by the families or the community, particular communities, for fear of exposition to the foreigners and this thing. Recently, I saw a movie, Maharaja, Indian tradition in this thing. You see there what happened?
Yeah.
So these are the things, that, defray the, freedom or type of things, Okay. Any other thing?
All right.
I will be happy to answer any other thing. Support our dear daughter, Sharmila.
I think, Uncle, thank you so much. But this kind of series will help, I think, doing awareness, because it's such a privileged thing that, I mean, comparatively, you see the ratio, literacy ratio or education, and considering the all multiple skills, Jain women are excelling in every form. So I think this particular area we need to work on it, actually, because in India, I mean, all over the world, so much women movements and so much happening. So I think ISJS should definitely take more on now women. And as you said about Maina Sunri, so जैसे हर एक रानी जो है हमारी मैना
रेवती है,
अनुव्रत,
अंजना है,
जी,
our stories are filled. महावीर के टाइम में वो जो क्या नाम था उसका, मृगावती थी,
मृगावती, yes.
चेलना का देखो, चंदना, बट चेलना को देखो, वो सैनिक को बना के लाई, जैन बना के लाई.
हाँ. So yes, stories I think will encourage, I think, women, and it will in fact give a lot of inspiration, encouragement, and I think great spirits, actually.
We are
Dr. Prakash, you have to say something.
Yes, in fact, I must compliment Sharmila ji, of course, for a very wonderful eye-opener, particularly. I'm a male, but then again, she has opened the door for the female. One thing I would like to, and of course, I've got a first opportunity with Dr. Suganji. Salute to you, sir. Logic you have put before some of the things which you have mentioned, I think it's wonderful. It's a very eye-opener. One more thing I would like to share, that, what is the difference between the Hindu ladies and the Jains. Because Hindu, you can see, just like Karwa Chauth and so many things, they are attached to the women so that they cannot, they are involved only on such things. But in Jainism, it's a case because we consider both as a separate entity. They are not dependent on each other. Whereas Hindus, they say always 7 जन्मों में हम साथ रहेंगे.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, जैन वुमन कभी नहीं कहेगी.
हमारे यहाँ कंसेप्ट नहीं है.
You know, मैंने आपको कहा था डिफरेंस बिटवीन पति एंड पति
जी हाँ,
देव.
पति देव. Very
हाँ,
right, very
जैन
correct.
वुमन कहते तू
Yeah,
देव
yeah.
नहीं है, देव तो अलग होते हैं भाई, यू आर पति.
So these are very good things, I think, and as Sharmila says that I think there should be more work on this one, and they're quite interesting. But apart from that, so I'm really happy that I'm joined first time your lecture series. So I must thank Dr. Pandey for inviting to attend this lecture. Thank you very much.
Shagun uncle,
Thank
women
you,
followers will increase now because he has put such a great logic for Karwa Chauth. He has given Pati Dev. So everybody will, worship Shagun uncle,
You
that he is
know,
the only man.
I tell while we are there, Rakhi, my mother used to say, why Rakhi? Why should I tie hand on my brother for safety? अगर मुझे चाहिए
Protecting him.
सुरक्षा तो अपने हस्बैंड के बांधूंगी और I will become independent. So like this, they were always,
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank
Nice.
you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you for this wonderful and happy and light discussion. This was a really interesting talk, and it was, I think, if you talk about Jain women, this is just a beginning, and there are so many things that we can talk and try to understand why women, or particularly Jain women, do certain things. So we can relate all these things to Jain values, ethics, philosophy, and metaphysics, and everything. So this is just the beginning, and there are so many things that we can talk about when we are on a Jain platform. And this gives me a chance to tell you all that we have our winter program starting from by the end of this month, I mean December, and the enrollments are still open. So you can all enroll over there, and we can talk about more topics like this and some many more. So they you can go to the website and check it out. So I would request now our own Sulekh uncle to come ahead and deliver vote of thanks. Sulekh ji, your views and vote of thanks.
Jai Jinendra to everyone. Sharmila, I've known you for about 10 years. You are a terrific speaker, and we would like you to get involved. You are going to become a mother-in-law very soon.
Yes.
So don't become a mother-in-law, become a mother.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
सास नहीं बनना है. Okay?
Bilkul, bilkul.
So now you are a big magnet. We had 42 people today. This is great. People from USA, from UK, Dr. Mardia, and of course from India, maybe from other places. So it was a very good talk. Let me make a few comments here. This is a topic where we should have more and more lectures. And especially this topic is very, very dear to me, important to me. I have written in my own way at least 4 or 5 papers. And what I would like to say, Dr. Narendra Parsanji is here. We are working on a book right now with 7 co-editors, significant contribution of Jainism in many, many areas. And we have chosen at least 80, 90 topics, science to social to philosophy, you name it. Role of women, what contribution, what Jainism has done to the emancipation, to the equal rights of women. So hopefully I'd like you to write on that one. Women are, there's no society, there's no religion that has been kind to women. We can brag about Jainism, these are all stories. Women are not treated equal in any culture, at any time, anywhere. Okay? These few stories we will come back and we will pray. Even I give you one example right now within Jainism. दिगंबर जैन पूजा में विश्वरूप बेल नारी कह गए योगेश्वरा. Nari is a woman is a poison ivy. It doesn't bother the conscience of people. They say it every day. This should be taken out. Women is
Hmm.
not a poison ivy. Bhagwan Mahavir's mother was a poison ivy. Just think
Not
about
at
it.
all. Hmm.
Just think about it. So we can brag about that. This is Greg. We are not there yet. Acharya Tulsi did a super job. Okay, give status to women. Before that, very few Acharya. In fact, many Acharyas kept the women very, very low in every
Hmm.
field you can talk about.
Hmm.
Okay, Acharya Chandanaji is the first one if you can talk about today. Again, the Chandanaji of Mahavir time. So we need to work very, very hard in many, many different areas. So that's what crime against women in India all over the world are still there. Okay,
Hmm.
its own Indian Constitution has given an equal status to women, but society has not. Okay, so what I would like to say, keep writing. If you write to Dr. Narendra Parson, we would like to have a paper from you, the significant contribution of Jainism to emancipation of women. Okay, what has Jainism done? So it was a great talk. 42 people from many places. It was 6 a.m. for me. I woke up at 5 just to listen to you. 5
Thank
बजे
you, Uncle.
5 बजे सुबह, and I'm sure Dr. Narendra Parson and many others did the same thing.
Yay, hooray.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so Meena ji also. Okay. So I would say keep continuing this dialogue, and you are a good speaker, and I think you can make a difference. And take Diksha ले लो अब. हाँ?
आप सारे गुरुजन जो है यहाँ पे मुझे दे दो.
हाँ. एक बार दी थी, अभी तो मुझसे जो है ना पूरी नहीं आई. अभी did
अभी
that
अभी
in
देखिए भारत सरकार ने थोड़ा ब्रेक पे बुला दिया मुझे, सो दैट वाज, आप उसको थोड़ा सा सबैटिकल समझो देश के लिए. अब देश के लिए भी तो काम करना जरूरी है, तो वो हो गया है अब.
Listen, over here, our Meena Band Choksi from Los Angeles, she has devoted full time to Kala Circle in Los
Okay.
Angeles, to art, education. She teaches Brahmi script, okay? So we want you
Okay.
to excel in some of those things, okay?
Right, right.
So
Absolutely, absolutely.
Bharat Sarkar, you can do many things through Bharat Sarkar. So
Ji,
anyway,
right.
thanks to everyone for coming
Thank
to
you.
this for the 17th lecture. And I want to thank IESJS for bringing up people from different parts of the world on many, many subjects. So this is a great tradition. Continue, Pandeyji, and we'll love to see again and again these kind of talented people you bring. So thank you, appreciate. Jai Jirendra.
Jai Jinendra.
Thank you
Sharmila
so much,
ji, I
Sumit
had a
uncle. Thank
question
you very
after the
much.
recording. We can
Yeah.
stop the recording. So if I can have a minute with her.
About, particularly
All right.
about you for art, think of V. Shantaram.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, think of Rashi Productions. Think of our present, this fellow.
So
जिसने-
V. Shantaram, what did he do to his muse,
Pardon?
V. Shantaram had a muse, He, I mean, what
I
did
mean,
he...
अभी आजकल ये जो बहुत अच्छी फिल्में बनाता है ना, मैं नाम भूल
कोमल
गया.
नाहटा, कोमल नाहटा.
नहीं, देवदास जो बनाई है, जिसने वो क्या नाम है, मैं उसको बनाई है, जो बनाता है.